Don't scroll a broken bar because what happened on that rainy evening still gives me chills, the narrator says, pulling the viewer in instantly. And if stories about kindness, struggle, and unexpected twists touch your heart, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because what you're about to hear a broken bar you won't forget. The storm had rolled in without warning, turning the small town's streets into rivers of shimmering reflections. Daniel wiped his hands on a grease-stained rag as he locked up the small auto shop he ran alone. He was exhausted, working double shifts, scrambling to pay rent, juggling fatherhood the best he could since his wife died 2 years earlier. His 8-year-old daughter, Mia, was his whole world, and he never let her see how tired he really was. He stepped outside and was about to head home when a sputtering engine approached, coughing like it was taking its last breath. A small silver sedan rolled to a shaky stop right in front of his shop. Daniel hesitated. It was late. He needed to pick up Mia from his sister's house. But something in the way the car trembled, almost begging for help, made him pause. The driver's door opened, and a woman stepped out, shielding her face from the rain. She looked worried, overwhelmed as someone who had already had a long day before this broken car became the final straw. "I'm so sorry," she said quickly. "I didn't know where else to go. My car just died. Is there any chance at all that you could take a look?" Daniel checked the time. "It's really late. I'm about to close." Her face fell, and she tucked a wet strand of hair behind her ear. "I understand. The broken bar really need to get home." Something about her voice, gentle but trembling, appalled as him. Maybe it reminded him of the nights his wife would sit on the couch, exhausted but trying to smile through her pain. Or maybe it was the way the woman looked, like she carried the weight of the world but refused to collapse under it. He sighed. "Okay, pop the hood." Relief flooded her eyes, and she whispered, "Thank you, a broken bar, thank you so much." As he worked, the rain soaked through his shirt, but he barely noticed. The alternator was failing, but he managed to patch it enough to get her home safely. She watched him the entire time, her expression shifting from worry to gratitude. When he finished, he closed the hood and stepped back. "How much do I owe you?" she asked immediately, pulling out her wallet. Daniel shook his head. "Don't worry about it. It was quick." "But you stayed late." "A broken bar in the rain, a broken bar. It's fine," he said, offering a tired smile. "Just get home safe." She stared at him for a moment, as if trying to understand why someone would help a stranger for nothing. Finally she whispered, "I wish there were more people like you." He gave a small shrug. "We all need help sometimes." She thanked him again and drove off, the patched engine humming steadily into the night. Daniel didn't think too much of it. Kindness was his default, even when life hadn't been kind to him. The next morning, after dropping Mia at school, he headed to court for a case he had been dreading. It wasn't criminal or nothing like that, but the landlord wanted to evict him from the apartment he'd lived in for years, claiming repairs that he couldn't afford, pushing him to leave so rent could be raised for new tenants. Daniel tried everything, payment plans, pleading, negotiation, but the landlord wouldn't budge. He sat in the courtroom's wooden bench, hands clasped tightly, thinking of Mia's drawings taped to their kitchen wall. If they lost that apartment, he didn't know where they'd go. The judge had the power to either destroy or save the little stability he had left. When the judge entered, Daniel straightened, his heart hammering. Then his breath caught. It was her, the woman from the night before. Her hair was dry now, tied neatly. Her robe flowed with authority. She looked different, but he recognized her instantly. And as she took her seat at the bench, she recognized him too. A flicker of shock crossed her fascia, but she composed herself quickly. The courtroom clerk read out his case. Daniel stood, palms sweating, heart pounding. The landlord's lawyer made their usual speech about unpaid rent and the future renovations planned, painting Daniel as irresponsible. Daniel didn't talk much. He wasn't good with legal words. He simply explained he was a single father trying to keep a home for his daughter. He explained the extra shifts, the struggle to keep up. His voice cracked only when he mentioned Mia. Then silence. The judge studied him for a long moment, not coldly, not distantly, but like someone seeing a truth deeper than paperwork. Finally, she spoke. "Mr. Daniel," she said, her voice steady but gentle, "I reviewed your payment history. You've never been late until the last 2 months. and even then you made partial payments. You also provided evidence that repairs were overdue and not addressed by the landlord." Daniel's breath trembled. She continued, "Based on the facts, I find that this eviction is unjustified. The tenant may remain in residence. Furthermore, I am ordering the landlord to complete the required repairs within 30 days. A murmur rippled through the courtroom. The landlord's face twisted in shock. Daniel could barely breathe. The pressure in his chest, the fear he had been carrying for weeks, burst in a wave of relief so strong he had to steady himself. The judge gave one last glance at him, her eyes soft. "And Mr. Daniel," she added gently, but formally, "thank you for what you did last night." He swallowed, nodding almost imperceptibly. After the session, Daniel stepped outside, the sun warm on his face. He felt lighter than he had in years. He didn't expect her to follow him out, but she did. "Daniel," she said, dropping the formal tone, "I wanted to explain." "You don't have to," he said with a smile. "You were just doing your job." "Yes," she replied, "but you should know something. Last night a broken bar. I was having one of the worst days I'd had in years. My mother was in the hospital, I was exhausted, and when my car died, I just..." As she exhaled shakily, "Your kindness meant more than you know. Not many people would have helped a stranger like that." He shrugged, embarrassed by the praise. "Anyone would have." "No," she said softly, "not anyone." They stood in silence for a moment before she said, "You reminded me that the world still has good people." "And told a broken bar I did my best to be one too." He smiled, feeling a warmth he hadn't felt in a long time. She smiled back. "Take care of your daughter. She's lucky to have you." As she walked away, Daniel realized something. He helped her during the storm, not knowing she would be the one holding his future the next morning, and she judged his case not based on gratitude, but fairness. A kindness repaid with integrity. That night, he picked up Mia and carried her inside their still safe home. The little apartment suddenly felt brighter, like life had decided to give them a break at last. And viewers, a broken bar. Sometimes the kindness you put into the world finds its way back to you, quietly, unexpectedly, like a repaired engine humming strong into the night. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because every act of kindness, every small story like these reminds us that the world becomes better one good person at a time.